Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. This is just another podcast with Mick, and it has been a while since I've said that, so hi. Welcome back. I think the last time I uploaded a podcast episode was like 18 months ago. It was called The Weirdest Year of My Life So Far, and that's still very true. That year was literally a fever dream, so yeah, I haven't really been able to upload more regular videos like tech videos and vlogs because of life, basically. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode. What I've been up to the past year and a half. So yeah, it's actually pretty funny because I uploaded a video a month ago. It was the Fujifilm X-S20 unboxing, and somebody literally commented, "Damn, you go missing for months." And I'm just like, oh, that's so painfully true, and I apologize. So yeah, I'm back, and I want to make videos more consistently this time. So yeah. Now, before we get started, we usually have a drink. It's usually beer or wine. I have here a very sad looking latte that I made like an hour and 30 minutes ago. I'm the kind of person to take forever to drink their coffee, but yeah, that's also something I've been up to the past year, is making espresso based drinks at home. I bought a Gadget Classic Pro and I've just been loving it. I really enjoy the process of making coffee, and it saved me quite a bit of money as well because I don't run to Starbucks every day anymore. So yeah, cheers. That's still pretty good. Okay, so now the biggest thing that's taken up my time is definitely school. And I've mentioned that in the previous video because I talked about being able to finish all of my subjects online while I was working in the US, and I came back to the Philippines to wrap up my clinical requirements. So just a quick refresher, I'm a university student here in the Philippines and I am studying dentistry. So yeah, apart from our subjects, we have 4 levels of clinic, and I'm clinic 4 right now, so I'm almost done. I only have a few things left to do. I can see the finish line, it's right there. I still have a few obstacles to overcome though, but yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, I would say 70 to 80% of my time has gone to school. About 10 to 15% would go to travel. I was able to travel a bit last year and this year because I had some money saved up from working in the US for a year. So yeah, that was fun. And then the rest is just like new experiences, and of course catching up with friends and family because I was gone for quite some time. So yeah, took some time to sit back, relax, and catch up with people that I care about. So yeah, I think we can end the podcast here. Okay, so let's start off with the fun stuff. So I was able to do 2 new things this year. The first one is having my very first sponsorship. So that was wild. I almost missed it actually because I very rarely open my email. So yeah, I was shocked to open this email like coming from Dell Philippines, and I was just like, is this real? I messaged my sister who works in the industry, and she was like, yeah, that looks pretty legit, you should reply. So I did, and yeah, it ended up actually happening. They asked me to make a 6-month follow up to the Dell XPS 13 Plus. So yeah, that was a very, very fun and interesting experience. Having to getting like talking to other people, being in meetings and stuff like that was a wild ride. It's usually just me and my videos, but yeah, but the best part definitely was making money. Was getting paid to do it. Yeah, so hopefully I get more sponsorships in the future, please. Yeah, that was fun, but it's definitely not the reason why I make my videos. It's definitely a plus, though. Not gonna lie. The second new thing that I was able to do this year was host a wedding. So my sister had her wedding here a wedding celebration rather, because she got married during the pandemic, but no family members were present because it was the pandemic, and she lives in Singapore. So yeah, she celebrated here last August, and she asked me to host. Actually, she didn't ask me. She just kind of told me a few months before that. She called me up and she was like, Mick, I've decided that you are gonna host my wedding. And I was just like, what? I don't really have any experience hosting. The only other experience I do have was hosting her debut when she turned 18, which was more just like reading the program and not really doing much. I did make a joke though, so I guess I'll talk about it now since I brought it up. Since my sister was 18, so obviously the people invited to her debut were people from high school and people from college. And since they were students, I thought it would be funny, like to make it like a school event and be like, please all rise for the Philippine national anthem. And some people stood up, some people understood it was a joke, but yeah, I was like, I'm gonna do that at your wedding too. But obviously, I had to be professional and actually do a good job. So yeah, my sister told me I did do a good job. I'm just gonna believe her. So yeah, it worked out fine. So if you want me to host an event, contact me at biancamikaehla.business. So yeah, those are two new big experiences that I experienced just this year, actually, in 2023. Now, I did do a lot of traveling, like I mentioned, so let's talk about that now. So last year when I came home from the US, I went straight to Singapore. I actually made a vlog there, so you guys are kind of in the know about that. Stay there for 3 weeks. Just spend time with my sister, who I hadn't seen in like 2 years because of the pandemic. After that, I went home, studied, and then I went and took a little trip to Bohol, which is an island here in the Philippines, which is still a pretty popular island. It was more of a staycation, though. We just stayed at this really nice resort, Mithi Resort. And yeah, the beach was absolutely beautiful. We had a private beach there. And we did some activities and sightseeing, of course, as well. So yeah, that was just a really fun trip with friends. After that, a few months later, I go back to Singapore to join my mom, because it's the first time she seen my sister in like 5 years. So that was a really nice emotional reunion. My aunt also followed up that trip, so it was a girls' trip. So that was super fun as well. I'm not sure if you've noticed, I have like the slight obsession with Singapore, but yeah, that pretty much concludes travel for 2022. I kicked the year 2023 off with a trip to Boracay with friends, and it was a great trip. Boracay is one of the most popular beaches here in the Philippines. Great white sand beach, so many restaurants to eat at, so good. But I guess the most notable experience for me would be my very first party. Yeah. So I was 25 at the time, and yeah, that was my very first party going experience. We went to and it was interesting. I had fun. I felt like I had fun because of the people I was with, because of the company. But yeah, I do enjoy drinking, but I don't usually drink outside. I'm a stay-at-home drinker, just stay inside, unwind, stuff like that. I probably would do it again, but maybe once a year. It's not going to be a frequent thing with me. But yeah, it was an experience. That was fun. Another thing that happened during that trip was I got hit in the face with a paddleboard. I'm not sure if you know what that is, but they're like really thick and big surfboards that you rent out so you can stand on them and basically paddle. So yeah, I got hit in the face because it was our last day. There was a storm rolling in, and there was like a wave. Somebody on the paddleboard slipped, went directly here, and it was very painful. And like, I don't know why, my first instinct was to be like like I passed out, but which caused people around me to panic. But I was really just I don't know, trying not to cry because I'm such an ugly crier, and I didn't want to cry in front of a lot of people. But yeah, that was so painful. Luckily, I didn't get a concussion or a black eye, so yeah, I guess it was still a very good trip. So after that, I went back to the U.S. to spend some time with my mom because I was on school break. So we spent some time there. We weren't really able to do anything because it was peak winter, so there's not really much to do. And then I flew back, and that's pretty much around the time I got my sponsorship. Yep, and then after that, the next trip would be around July. So just a quick trip to Guam. Visited some family there. Somebody retired after having worked for like 50 years or something like that. So yeah, the beaches there were beautiful. It was a nice touristy spot. Lots of people go there to relax and unwind, kind of just like Boracay. But personally, I prefer Philippine beaches. I don't know. I might be biased though, but yeah, it was still a really nice stay. After that, it was a pretty jam packed month for my family because my grandparents celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary, and my sister celebrated her marriage here in the Philippines. The one I said, like the one I hosted. So, yeah. After that, in August was also a pretty busy month for me because of the family stuff. And then after that, my sister and I flew to Bali to just relax and decompress from all of the family gatherings. Have a little sister moon. So yeah, that was really fun. So much good food, a lot of good drinks. It's just funny though because in Bali, everywhere you go is like an excuse to drink. You go to a restaurant, here's a drink. You go to a cafe, have another drink. You go to the beach, have another drink. It's like you go to a playground, there's probably a little bar on the side just so if you wanted to, you definitely could. But yeah, it was just a super relaxed trip with me and my sister just catching up. So yeah, after that, she went home to Singapore. I followed and stayed there for about 2 weeks, maybe a little more because I did extend my trip. Again, obsessed with Singapore. And it was a really, really fun trip. I didn't vlog. I did shoot a few sample shots for a few things that I am reviewing, which I need to get to. But yeah, I'll get to it. But it was a really fun experience since because I keep going back there, right? And I'm starting to really be familiar with how to get around because at the end of that trip, I didn't really have that much money left, so I didn't get a SIM card. So I would just go out without any data and I can still make it home. So like I'm very familiar with how to commute around the area. So yeah, that was fun. Felt like a local. It was really, really fun. Okay, so that pretty much concludes the better parts of the year. So now let's dive into the school part. So the thing is, I don't really like talking about school because of the stigma mostly that revolves around delayed students. So I am definitely one of those. I want to blame the pandemic for the most part. But yeah, I do carry a bit of shame when it comes to talking about my academic life. So yeah, but here I am talking about it on the internet, which is very wise. So yeah. So basically my life right now is Monday to Saturday. We usually go to school. Like it usually ranges from 7 to 5. Sometimes it's whole days, sometimes it's half days. On Saturdays it is like half day. But we don't actually have to go to school every day because we work on off of schedules now, which in theory sounds smart, right? But the problem is there are so many students and there aren't a lot of schedules and chairs to go around. So the problem there is it's hard to get a schedule. So sometimes, not sometimes, always, we still always go to school just in case we can like walk in and maybe grab a chair that somebody didn't go to that day. So yeah, so my life just kind of revolves around that. Apart from that, if we're not at school, we're looking for patients because we have to look for our own patients, and it's the whole post-pandemic thing where they need to have at least 3 shots, so 2 COVID shots, 1 booster shot, and not a lot of people are willing to get a booster, and not a lot of people have boosters. So it's a whole thing of trying to find patients with the right with the right amount of shots. And of course, just like recall and stuff. So sometimes when we perform treatment, they have to come back after a certain amount of time to see if the treatment was successful. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get them to come back because we do get it. They have lives, they have jobs. They don't want to spend another day off with us and commuting to somewhere far away. So sometimes a lot of our time is tracking them down and trying to get them to come back. So it's a whole thing. So I don't want to get into like the complete nitty gritty of it right now because obviously I'm at 15 minutes and I could go on and on and on about it. So comment down below if you guys would want a dedicated podcast episode to my personal experience in dentistry, because I think I've earned that right to have this unique perspective, because I was there pre-pandemic, I was in it during the pandemic, and I'm still in it post-pandemic. So I've been through some crap. So it's wild. A wild ride it has been, and I'm almost done. But the thing is, like, once I've finished, I have to start studying for boards. So it's not going to be like a super chill celebration. So it's just a lot of stress and anxiety and stress. But I've actually started working again. I got a part-time job as a dental assistant, and it's just really refreshing to see that no matter how stressed I am with school, the grass is greener on the other side. It's not as stressful, so I just have to get through the process and we'll be okay after. So yeah, it's a very interesting experience. So yeah, that pretty much concludes it for the past year and a half. I'm trying to get back on making videos more consistently. So yeah, a couple of things that I have to review. The thing is, like, I haven't been making videos, but I keep buying things to review. So it's just So yeah, that is pretty much that for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully I can finish my coffee now. Cheers.